Throughout the years, indie developers have shown to be more than capable of producing high-quality games even when on a low budget. And the gaming industry has shown that AAA developers don't always make great games, and this is where Stray comes in. Stray is an indie third-person adventure game developed by BlueTwelve Studio and published by Annapurna Interactive. The story follows this stray cat trying to find a way home while also trying to free the trapped inhabitants of a long-forgotten cybercity. The game starts off with a group of cats making their way through an abandoned facility when one of them gets separated and falls into a chasm. You make your way through this weird and abandoned area, but something feels off. You have these weird little creatures running around, chasing you, trying to catch you. The buildings have actual apartments, but no one seems to be living here. You eventually make it to an abandoned lab, where you activate a little robot companion. This is B12. He's your main companion in the game. He acts as a translator as well as a guide. As you progress through the game, you uncover more and more of his backstory, and let's just say it's quite depressing. B12 isn't just a robot. Later on in the game, you find out that he is the last surviving human in this forgotten world. The human race has been wiped out long ago by a dangerous plague. They had created this underground cyber city in order to escape the dangers of the outside world, but it had been too late. All of the humans died, leaving behind their robot companions to inherit the city. Well, all of them except for B12. He survived by downloading his consciousness to a computer, where he had been trapped in ever since. B12 equips our cat with a vest. This unlocks a flashlight, B12's advice, which isn't very great if I'm being honest, and the ability to discover his memories. These memories are scattered around the map, and give us backstory to B12, the human race, and the robots we are about to encounter. These robots at first are scared of you. They don't know what you are or where you come from, but quickly come to accept you once they know you aren't a threat. These are the Slums, the lower part of Walled City 99. The people here have lost all hope of ever reaching the outside world. This is where Stray shines in world building. Every character, although only having a few lines of dialogue, are used extremely well in building the atmosphere in the slums. Every character is depressed, hopeless, and afraid. They try to carry on with their daily lives, but the constant attacks by the Zerks, which are the weird creatures at the beginning of the game, has put them on edge, constantly fearing for their safety. The aesthetic and overall look of the slums is also amazing. It's filled with dimly lit lights, making the rooftops very bright, while the streets stay fairly dark. The sky is filled with these white dots. They're not stars, but they still give the people hope that one day they might escape this wretched place. Here you meet a man who will help you leave this place. His name is Momo. He is a member of a group named the Outsiders, a group of 4 robots trying to find a way out of Walled City 99. The group was able to finally escape the slums, but Momo stayed behind. Now he's trapped by himself, with no way to contact the rest of the group. He helps you leave the slums through the sewers, which are infested with Zerks. A little backstory on the Zerks. They are a man-made bacteria which were created with the intent to eat garbage. This idea, however, didn't go as planned. The Zerks started eating more than just bacteria, eventually evolving to the point where they could eat metal, putting the robots at risk, and they are killed using UV light. As we make our way through the sewers, we find another member of the Outsiders, Doc. He's been stuck in a little house in the sewers, not being able to escape because of the Zerks. He gives us a UV flashlight, which we can use to kill the Zerks. The light can only be used for a few seconds before it overheats and goes on a cooldown. Once we finally make it through the sewers, we enter the middle point between the 2 main parts of the city. This little area is called Antvillage. The people here are calm and relaxed. Most of them have come to accept their way of life and just go on with their day. At the top of the village we meet with the 3rd member of the Outsiders, Zbaltazar. I've probably butchered that name. He gives you the address of the final member and sends you on your way. Once you climb out of the village, you arrive to an abandoned subway. Remember this place? Leaving the subway, we see a person getting arrested for no reason. The Sentinels, a corrupt police force, are looking for the final member of the Outsiders and are trying to arrest her. This is Midtown, the upper part of Walled City 99. It's drastically different to the slums in many ways. It has much more lighting both on the rooftops and on the streets, and the people of Midtown don't have the same hunger to escape the city as the people of the slums. They are much more content with their way of life, even if they have to deal with the constant harassment and arrests from the Sentinels. Following the address, we find the last member of the Outsiders, Clementine. You help her and her friend Blazer by stealing an atomic battery that can be used to power the subway and escape Midtown. Once you steal the battery, Blazer betrays you and you get sent to jail along with Clementine, in the penultimate chapter of the story. The jail is also an amazing looking area. It uses this abandoned aesthetic, which perfectly fits with its depressing backstory as a place used to reboot robots, completely wiping their memory and consciousness. You can find robots here which are either about to be rebooted or already have been. The place is swarming with Sentinel drones which will shoot you once they see you, instantly killing you. Once you help Clementine make her way through the prison, she hops in a random car and you make your escape. She sacrifices herself to buy you time and help you escape. She gives you the keys to the subway, and once activated we leave Midtown once and for all. Once the train stops, we reach our final chapter of the game, the control room, the highest part of the city. This place, in contrast to all the others, is clean and well kept, being maintained by fully automated robots with no consciousness. The place seems to have been abandoned, either the people left or died. B12 expresses his hatred towards the people who ran the city from this room. They kept everything for themselves: clean space, limitless power, and the freedom to move. They didn't help the people during the plague, instead they just sat up high above and watched everyone die. As you slowly boot up the computers, B12 finally tells you the truth. The power needed to open the city is too much for his little drone body to handle, so he makes the ultimate sacrifice and takes control of the whole system, opening the city but destroying his software in the process, destroying his chances of ever experiencing the outside world. And just like that, the city is finally open and our little feline friend can go back to where this whole thing started. To say Stray has been a success would be a huge understatement. The game has achieved massive critical as well as commercial success, becoming the top-selling as well as highest-rated game on Steam upon its release. It has received a Metascore of 83 and a user score of 8.5 out of 10, a 9 out of 10 from GameSpot, an 8 out of 10 from IGN, and a 4.5 out of 5 from GamesRadar. It broke Annapurna's record for concurrent Steam players upon release with over 62,000 players. In July, it was the most downloaded PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 game in North America. It was the second most downloaded PlayStation 5 and third most on PlayStation 4 in Europe. The game received massive praise for its graphics and art design, as well as its story and world building, while receiving slight criticism for its combat sequences. Some critics found them fun and exciting, while others found them boring and repetitive. Me personally, I would say I'm somewhere in the middle. While they are quite exciting at the beginning, they become a bit repetitive due to their simplistic nature. I would say the Zergs are definitely a lot more fun than the Sentinel drones later on in the game, as those are just annoying. In conclusion, Stray is a perfect example of indie developers creating something beautiful. This game, like many other indie titles, should serve as a reminder that indie developers can put out higher quality titles than some of the biggest companies in the gaming industry. The game offers an amazing art style with beautiful graphics and a story to go with it. I highly recommend it, and I can't wait to see what BlueTwelve Studio have in store for us in the future, because this game is just fantastic. Thank you to everyone who watched this video all the way to the end, and I'll see you guys in the next one.